Hi, welcome to Karla's Clever Crafts. I am going to do a Christmas wreath today, and I'm going to be using this beautiful Holy Night sign in blue and gold. Hopefully you can see that okay. We're going to be using this blue metallic mesh as well as the gold. This is actually called window pane mesh, and I got both of these from Craft Outlet. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you about my supplies before I get started here. I'm using a 14-inch Dollar Tree frame, and I have it pre-wired with 18 pipe cleaners. There are 6 sections on the Dollar Tree frame, and a section is between each of these crossbars. Within the section, you will have 3 pipe cleaners, 1 on the inside 2 rings and 2 on the outside 2 rings. If you want to, you could take a quick screenshot of this so that you can see the layout for doing your own wreath if you choose to do one. Then we're using this sign, as I said. I believe I got this from Amazon. A lot of times sellers on there will have the same sign, so you may be able to find that there. And then we are going to be using 4 different ribbons. All of these ribbons, 3 of these ribbons are from Craft Outlet. We're going to use this blue and gold 2.5-inch ribbon. We're going to use the blue and gold manger scene ribbon. That one is also 2.5-inch. And then I found this beautiful, I thought it just matched perfectly with the sign, the blue and gold star ribbon. So all 3 of those came from Craft Outlet. And then I'm just using this glitter gold 1.5-inch ribbon to pair with those. This was a Sam's Club ribbon, but I know that Craft Outlet, if you can't find it at Sam's Club or you don't go to Sam's Club because you don't have a membership or whatever reason, Craft Outlet has a very similar gold glitter ribbon in the 1.5-inch size if you wanted to use that same one. Okay, also I believe I do have this as a wreath kit available in my Etsy shop, so if you're not able to find, say, the sign on Amazon or whatever, in my shop I have the sign and the ribbon bundle. You can also purchase the complete wreath kit, which comes with 1 roll of mesh. I'm using actually 2 different colors. If you wanted 2 rolls of mesh with it, you could message me and I could upgrade the kit for you. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. That's, if you can't find the supplies where I told you that I obtained them, I do, when I make my designs, I usually purchase extra because I have a lot of people ask me to make kits because they prefer to purchase kits for the convenience and the ease of getting all of the materials and not having to shop around. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to make this wreath using Krafts. So actually, let's do our sign first. To attach my sign, I'm going to use 2 cable mounts, and we're going to use 2 pipe cleaners. So if you do purchase a complete kit from me, I said that you get the 1 roll of mesh. You also get the wire wreath frame, you get the 20 pipe cleaners, you get the 2 cable mounts, and you get 9 feet or 3 yards of each of the 4 ribbons. You can purchase each of those separately as well. So you can buy just the sign, or you can buy just the ribbon bundle, or you can buy the sign and the ribbons, or the complete kit, or the finished wreath. So if you're not a crafty person, this wreath is available in my shop. Okay, so let's go ahead and find my glue. And we're going to turn the sign over. And then I'm going to just come up here at the top. The holes on the sign, I noticed when I was getting ready to do this, are off-centered. So I'm going to try to center where I put my glue dots at the top and the bottom. And it doesn't take very much. I use this DAB Rapid Fuse. If you've watched my other videos, I show this just about every time. I use that because it fully cures in 30 minutes. So by the time, if I do my sign first, by the time I get everything else done, it is fully set up. These do have, these have sticky pads on them. Don't rely just on that sticky pad though to hold your sign. If you're selling wreaths, giving it as a gift, or using it yourself, that sticky pad won't hold up in the elements outside. So you want to have some extra security, either some hot glue, which I use AdTech brand hot glue, or something like the DAP Rapid Fuse, or some kind of super glue. Okay, so I am just going to set these and the 2 pipe cleaners to the side. We're going to go ahead and get started with making Krafts. I'm going to start with the gold window pane mesh. This is really pretty. Got the gold metallic running through it. It's got some cream colored strips, as well as gold poly in the background. So we'll just lay this out. I'm going to put my scissors on here to hold this down. So to make my Krafts, if you've watched my videos before, you've probably seen me do this. But I always go through at least 1 or 2 for people who may be new to my channel. So I'm going to fold this over about a 1/2 inch, and I'm using my pinkies here to hold these ends down. And then I'm just going to roll it 2, 3, 4. I always do like 4 or 5 times. Okay, and then I use a chip bag clip to hold that. You could use a clothespin or whatever you have. It just makes it easier. You don't have to try to hold this and roll this at the same time. So then I'm going to turn this curl away from me, and we're going to make another curl on this end. Just the exact same process of rolling it. Okay, and now I am going to turn those 2 curls face down, and I'm going to crunch right up the middle. Just little small pinches at a time. And it gives us like a, oops, I almost lost that piece there. Like a little butterfly or bow. And then I'm going to place it in, it doesn't matter which pipe cleaner we start with, just pick one. And put the finished edge to the inside and the outside. And just make sure that you squeeze that real tight. Okay, so let's do that one more time. And then I have all the Krafts made up ahead of time. So this will go a little faster once we go through this again. So this is the blue metallic mesh, and it tends to fray a little bit more. So I'm just gonna make sure that I get the ends and stuff all tucked under here when I do my Krafts. So again, we're going to roll it 4 or 5 times, put our clip on there, and then here I have a little bit of the end sticking out, so I'm just going to tuck that under. It just helps to prevent the fraying. Turn that curl away from us, repeat the same process on the other end. You're going to need 18 pieces of mesh. The mesh is cut to 18 inches long. You could, some crafters on some wreath makers I know do cut theirs longer. I usually stick with 18 inches for my Krafts. Okay, and then I'm gonna go and pull all of these middle ones to the outside, so I do not miss any of them as I'm working around the frame. Okay, and we're just gonna go to the very next pipe cleaner, and we're gonna put the blue. And we're gonna rotate gold and blue all the way around all 18 pipe cleaners. Okay, and so I just get my next one open and ready. And then, like I said, I already have the Krafts made ahead of time to make it go a little faster. Whoop. That's supposed to be a gold one. So I'm gonna just put this blue right here. And then just backtrack and put the gold one in. And then I'm just gonna pull this one to the right up and lay it over top so they're all going the same way, layered the same way. And I'm just gonna repeat this, gold, blue, all the way around. So we're gonna have 9 golds, 9 blues, all cut to 18 inches, and this is 10-inch mesh. So let me finish that up and I will be right back. Okay, we have our beautiful base already done with all of our blue and gold mesh, and it just kind of looks like it's just swirling around our wreath frame. That's why I love Krafts and I love laying them in the way that I showed you. Next, I am going to, sometimes at this stage, I go ahead and add my ribbons, but first I'm going to actually put my sign in. This is an 8-inch sign, and I want to put it in so then I can rest my ribbons so that they frame around the sign and look nice. Okay, so I'm just gonna turn this over and feed my pipe cleaners through those cable mounts that we glued on. The glue's probably not fully cured just yet, but it's cured enough that we can go ahead and work with it. It starts to set up, I think it's in 30 seconds, so yeah, we're certainly safe at this point to go ahead and add our pipe cleaners and then add it to our wreath. And by the time we're finished, it should be fully cured. Okay, so I'm just going to turn my sign over. I'm going to feed my pipe cleaners down between 2 pieces of mesh to these 2 wires on the inside of the frame. And I'm just going to wrap my pipe cleaner around those inside 2 wires. Okay, and before I start twisting and attaching, I just want to make sure I'm centered, you know, top to bottom, left to right. And then another thing about adding my signs, I don't like to sink my sign all the way to the back of the wreath and mesh down all my beautiful mesh and stuff. So when I pull it to twist it onto the frame, I just pull gently. I want it to nestle down in the mesh a little bit, but I don't want it to mash my mesh down. Okay, so, and I'm just twisting the pipe cleaner around itself. And then we're just going to tuck the end up inside to protect the sharp edge. And I'm going to turn it over and do the other same thing with the second pipe cleaner. Again, just want to kind of eye it here and make sure that I'm getting it as close to centered as possible. And again, down through 2 pieces of the mesh to those 2 inside rings on your frame. Pull it snug, but not too much. And then just twist. Twist the pipe cleaner a bunch of times. I'm going to make sure that my sign is not going to fall off or anything like that. Okay, so there is our really pretty sign. The mesh, I think, matches that sign perfectly. So now we can add some ribbons. We have 18 pipe cleaners here that we put mesh in, but we're only going to need 12 of those for our ribbons. So I'm going to actually cut off 6 of them. To do that, I usually find one of the pieces of mesh that is connected to the inside of the frame. Oh, let's see here. I might have to turn it over. I can't tell. Okay, so this is our sign. Here is one that's on these inside 2 wires. And I don't cut that one off, but I'm going to use this as my starting point. And the ones that I cut off are the ones right before that inside piece. Okay, now you could cut off those inside ones and then just put your ribbons all around the outside edge, but I like my ribbons to kind of go back and forth. So that is why I cut off the one just before the center one. And I'm leaving about a 1/2 inch here, and I'm just gonna fold that down and then give that a real good squeeze to make sure that it's nice and secure. Okay, so then I know I need these next two not to be cut. And so it's the third one that I will cut. And that is the one right before the one attached to the middle of the frame. Hopefully that's not too confusing. So at this point, I can just count. 1, 2, cut. 1, 2, cut. Remember, fold and squeeze. I need to adjust my curl here. My sign kind of messed it up. All right, 1, 2. This is the one that we'll cut. One, 2, and then we'll cut this one. 1, 2, cut this next one. Uh-oh. Somehow I cut the wrong one, guys. Okay, so here I have 3. I missed one when I was counting. So it should have been 1, 2, cut this one, and I cut this one. So now let me show you what to do if you mess up and cut the wrong one. Perfect, right? So this is the one I should have cut. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And then right here is the one I should not have cut. Fortunately, right beside me, I have an extra pipe cleaner. I am going to just wrap it around this piece of mesh and the frame that I should not have cut off. And I'm just gonna add a whole brand new pipe cleaner. No mistake that can't be fixed. Always remember that when you're crafting. This is your design. Every design is unique, and everybody's design has mistakes, okay? So when you make a mistake, don't fret. Just figure out how to fix it. We're crafty people for that reason, right? Okay, so now we are ready to start adding our ribbons. Show you real quick how I dovetail my ribbons. If you order the kit from me or the ribbon bundle, your ribbons will come like this. They're pre-measured 12 inches long. So all you literally have to do is fold the edges over, line them up as close as possible, and then cut from the folded side up at an angle to the wired side. And you will get a nice little inward V shape like that. And that just gives you a nice finished polished look to your ribbons. And you could cut at an angle, or you don't. Sometimes I have designs where I don't even cut the ribbon ends. I just leave them straight. So that's just personal preference and completely up to you. Okay, and I had already dovetailed those. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the manger ribbon. If you're cutting like I am, multiple pieces at one time, just very important to make sure you line up these edges as close as possible. And again, line up as close as possible when you fold it over. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you want it to be as close as possible, or your V's will come out wonky and uneven. Okay, so just like that. We're going to turn this over to the other end. I've got one piece here that's just sticking out further than it should. I'm probably going to have to fix it afterwards. Go ahead and fold, and you can see I got this one little shorter piece here, so that dovetail's not going to come out correct. We'll have to redo that one by itself. But that's okay, I can still dovetail all the rest. And then when I open them up here, yeah, right there's the one that was sticking out a little bit. And you can see it didn't, it's not a very pretty V. It's got this messed up side. So I'm just gonna go ahead, fold it over and straighten it. Okay. And then this is our fourth ribbon and our final one. Tell that real quick, and then I'll show you how I add my ribbons. And I do attach my mesh and my ribbons different ways depending on the design. I guess I like to switch things up once in a while just to do different things and get different results. This design that I'm showing you tonight, though, has proven to be probably the most popular in my shop, in my Etsy shop where I sell my wreaths. So I do tend to favor this one a little bit just for that reason. Okay. Now I've gotten glitter everywhere. We're really crafting now. Okay, so I am going to pair the blue and gold with the manger. Okay, and when I do my ribbons, I just make an X on the table in front of me, kind of like that. Scrunch in the middle and pinch these two sides together so we have like an X, and then you can just pick wherever you want to start. Actually, I'm gonna start with this one. Place your two ribbons straight down in, pull tight, keep pulling as you twist it so that your ribbons are nice and secure. I usually twist 3 or 4 times. Snip it off again, leaving about 1/2 inch here that you can fold down inside, and then squeeze that to make sure your ribbons are tight. And then I always fluff, what I call fluff my ribbons, which is basically just me arching them up and out. So the tips are kind of curled under. I do this on almost every design I do. I just feel like it gives a nice finished look and makes the ribbon cohesive with the mesh when it kind of wraps around it. Okay, so then just open up my next pipe cleaner. Now I'm gonna rotate. I have 4 ribbons, so I'm gonna rotate. I'm gonna use this gold with the star next. Same thing, make an X, pinch up the middle, lay it down in your very next pipe cleaner. Now we're doing 12 pipe cleaners. We're doing 2 ribbons per pipe cleaner, so you're going to need 24 total ribbons. If you're only using 2 ribbons, you would need 12 of each. In our case, we're using 4 ribbons, so we need 6 of each. Okay, pinch that down real tight. Adjust our ribbons. And a lot of times if you just run, especially the 1.5 inch ribbon, run it between your fingers like that, it'll automatically do that nice little arch. Okay. We're going to go to our next one, and now we're going to do just like we did with the mesh and repeat our pattern. So we're going to do the manger with the blue and gold. My ribbons are cut to 12 inches. Make an X on the table, scrunch up the middle, lay it straight down into your next pipe cleaner, twist, pull really tight, then twist while you're still pulling so that you're getting a nice tight hold on your ribbons. And this is why I went ahead and added my sign before I put my ribbons. This way, when I'm adding my ribbons, I can make sure that they're framing and laying around this area, around my sign, the way that I want them to. This ribbon is really fighting me. Get up there. Very finicky and picky about my ribbons, so I do go back and mess with them. And even once I finish this tutorial, when I hang my wreaths up to take pictures of them, I usually end up adjusting my ribbons again. Okay. So now we need to do the star, the blue star and the gold. Make an X, scrunch up the middle, place it in the next pipe cleaner. And another thing is when I'm adding this one in, I usually mess up these ribbons, so then I go back and fix that. You could just put all your ribbons in and fix them when you're done. I've always done it this way, and I guess I'm a creature of habit, so I just adjust them as I go. And I'm not putting the ribbon in any set way. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm covering, you know, getting them spaced out evenly and have them, you know, kind of framing around the sign, as well as getting coverage on the outside here. But there's no rhyme or reason to laying them a specific way or anything like that. You can twist them around or move them, which is what I do until I get the look that I like. Okay, so I am going to very quickly finish going around with the ribbons, and then I will be right back. Okay guys, we have the ribbons all the way around now, and here is our beautiful finished wreath. I love this gorgeous blue and gold Christmas wreath with a very important message about the meaning of Christmas, with the manger scene, and it says Holy Night. I did want to give you guys the measurements of the overall wreath when it is finished. It is 24 inches wide, 24 inches tall, and it's about 5 to 6 inches deep with the the way that I flare the ribbons, and also with the curls. The depth from the base up to the top up here is about somewhere between 5 and 6 inches. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this wreath. Next, I am going to be working on a leopard gnome wreath tutorial. It is a good design for fall, but it is also perfect for year-round, everyday use. So I hope you will join me for that tutorial. If you like my tutorials, please subscribe to my channel so that you'll be notified when I upload new content. Thank you again for watching the video, and if you guys have any questions, be sure to drop those in the comments and give this video a thumbs up. That really helps me grow my channel so that I can continue to bring more tutorials and videos to you guys. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.